On this Reidus and Cletus Weekly, we're going to show you the biggest horror stories that ever happened on Reidus and Cletus.
Trick or treat. One of the scariest parts about episode 1 actually wasn't even in the episode. I don't even know if I told you about this, but I live in Toronto. I bought the car outside San Francisco, and I obviously couldn't be there to buy it, so I had to send money to buy it. And the money got lost in the transfer. The guy at the other end was like, I never got the money. I'm like, I don't have the money. The money's gone from my account. What do you mean? And the bank's like, we can probably get your money back. I'm like, what do you mean probably? That was terrifying. But eventually it all got sorted out. But yeah, wire transfers are scary if you're really dumb.
The other horrible thing about that was when, I think it was your brother accidentally signed the title.
Oh, God, we got slayed on the paperwork end of this. My brother is super nice because he did actually do the transaction. I sent the money to my brother. He handed the money to the seller. And then the seller gave my brother the title, which my brother mailed to me. Which is helpful because I didn't have to be there for the transaction. Saved me a flight, which is hundreds of dollars. But my brother, in his overexuberance, did sign the title into his name and became the legal owner of my Corvette. And I'm like, crap, I can't import this now because I don't own it. And so we found this loophole where you can write and or in California titles. So I could write Blake Seams or Clayton Seams legally. And so we did that. It said Blake or Clayton, and they're like, which one are you? I'm like, Clayton. They're like, yeah, here's your car. I'm like, that's it? Really? It's like a really easy way to steal a car. So anyways, I did eventually get it imported, but man, that was a whole process. I was so stressed that week. I was like on vacation too. It sucked.
Yeah, because you were hanging out with me.
Yeah, I was in Calgary that week.
Yeah, that was really funny. Just a crazy coincidence.
Yep. But then the real horror story was actually, befitting, nighttime, darkness, scary things. You bought what looked to be a really nice Datsun. I mean, I like Datsuns in general, and it looked to be really clean. I remember when he bought it, he was like, yeah, Clayton, it's got some floor rust. I'm going to put some metal in the floor, and once we patch up the floor, hit the road, like 2 months, 2 weeks, shouldn't be that bad.
But it was way worse than that because the scary part was that it was in a garage when I bought it, and it was lit, and I looked under the floor mats, and the hole was that big. And it really didn't look that bad. But as soon as we took a fender off, man, I mean, you guys all watched the episode, and if you didn't, go watch it. It's amazing. We're great at this.
That thing was like a shipwreck. It was just crazy because, Alex and I were corresponding an email at that time, and he's like, oh, well, I took this part off, and I saw this had rust, so I took that part off, and then this part had rust, and it just like the whole way back down the car. It was bad. Yeah,
that is the true horror story of that car. I cut my hands so much. My hands were like so raw and everything after that. They were just covered. There's so much blood in that car. I remember one time I actually like cut my finger and bled on something, and I just went, and I went, and I
car's red.
I welded right on the blood. So there is actually blood imbued in that vehicle.
That's crazy.
It's also gross.
We've also had some creepy critters involvements with the Corvette, but you don't get to see that yet because we haven't ran that episode, but you will soon, and there are some... That might actually take the cake, the things we saw. Oh, there's things in it! There's like little bugs in it.
Does this count as the worst thing you've ever removed from a car?
Yep. That is as an actual, like... I'm scared. That was terrifying.
That was pretty bad. I actually wimped out. Alex had to finish it. Anyways, I bet you can't wait for that episode. That's probably going to be episode 7. We'll see.
No, it'll be episode 8.
8.
Because episode 7 is where we drive the shipwreck of a Datsun somewhere.
Yes! Anyways, we're getting off topic, but creepy stories.
What else was scary was driving a 1977 Suburban all the way across Canada in a snowstorm.
I think that probably takes the cake for like the closest we've come to like actual peril.
Yeah.
That was pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, nothing bad happened. So, episode 3, we drove my Suburban and my Datsun across Canada, and for the most part, it was actually pretty easy, except that I'd never driven a trailer before, so that was scary in itself, sort of, with my, to me, priceless sports car on the back. But then, once we hit Winnipeg, actually, I don't know if you know this, especially if you're not from Canada, but overnight, every night, no matter what month it is or day, Winnipeg turns into a literal skating rink, and the whole thing is covered with that much ice.
We were literally falling down, walking to the truck in the morning. Like, we could not walk. It was literally ice. I don't know, that thick. It doesn't matter.
And when you've got 5,000 pounds of, oh no, I guess it was more than that, because the truck was 4,800 pounds. The Datsun's like 2,000, and then you've got a 2,000 pound trailer. When you try and stop that, it don't stop.
That was, without a doubt, the worst weather conditions we've ever had on a Reidus Cletus road trip. I'd be happy if it's the worst conditions we ever drive in. That was terrifying.
That's enough. That's
good.
enough.
So, on that note, happy Halloween. Hope you guys have some scary car adventures of your own.
That is a terrible thing to say to somebody, but we hope you get out of it safe and sound and enjoy some candy.
Also candy.